Did you have a good day?
Wonderful. It was beautiful. I woke up about 7:30 as we were pulling in and parking, and opened the shades on the bus and saw that beautiful blue sky.
Yeah, spectacular.
It was
Clear, crisp.
Had a wonderful breakfast at a little cafe around the corner from the hotel, and had some sourdough pancakes.
What?
Very good. And I was still kind of sleepy. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to the name of the place, but you folks would know where it is.
Sour pine.
That's what I thought.
Or is that straight from the horse's mouth?
It was delicious. I mean, you don't get sourdough pancakes just everywhere.
No. I don't believe I've ever had sourdough.
Well,
I know. Anyway.
May I ask you about that?
Yes. Ask me.
I love it. Whose point of view? Who's the narrator in that song?
Just somebody caught in the kind of clearing up the fields with the woman who he's singing to.
Oh,
Yeah.
singing to a woman.
Yeah.
I like that.
It never works out for me, but
That's really our premise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether it works or not, that's beside the point.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not easily discouraged either.
I keep trying.
But so they're.
Yeah, so it's about looking at a field one day and realizing that at some point it was probably cleared by people who weren't paid for their labors, and kind of down through history that's been a sad story. But yeah, and in Tennessee there's still some stone walls that. The original versions were actually, it's when the field was cleared by, slave labor. So,
And they refer to them as?
Slave walls.
Yeah.
But not only crass backward people say it that way.
Yeah.
We just call them walls. I mean, they are slave walls, but.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting. It's interesting the time that we live in, and it's wonderful the heightened awareness of this time and the sensitivity to all peoples. And,
I like it.
It's it's getting better.
All right.
This is the.
Could I introduce you?
Oh,
What?
okay. No, I'd be.
Well, no.
proud.
Are you? No. Go ahead and tune the guitar.
I'm already here.
I know, but you gave me such a kind.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, still tuning his guitar. Sorry. My songwriting hero, my singing hero, and my friend, Lyle Lovett.
Thank you. That is as gracious of an introduction as I've ever had from someone who's never had sourdough pancakes.
I gotta have.
This could be hopeless.
I think if you use the Guy Clark tuning method on it, find the string that's out of tune and tune the rest to him. I think.
Well, your song reminded me of a song that my friend Eric Taylor wrote. You and I played on this tour. John and I started. Our first show was on the 6th of October, and we only have 2 more shows.
Yeah.
And it's really been fun.
It's been a blast. Thank you for doing it with me.
Thank
Again, me asking you to do it with you.
we've been. I first met John Hiatt on the 30. I first saw John Hiatt on stage on the 31st of January, 1981, at the Paramount Theater in Austin, when John and his entire band were Ry Cooder's band for Ry Cooder's Borderline album tour. And I was a fan immediately, and went back home and went to my local record store that week and asked if there were any John Hiatt records. Ry Cooder said John's name so many times during that show that it was etched in my memory, and John was so spectacular that night and you even sang a song.
Yeah, I sang a song, played guitar. He was very kind. He was a great mentor.
Well, and you were the guitar player in the band.
Well, I mean, he would throw me solos, and then of course he would do what only he can do.
And you were playing electric, you were playing a Telecaster.
Telecaster.
But I went and I thought, well, I'm going to look up John Hiatt, and thinking, guitar music, instrumental music, and so the cool guy. There's a cool guy who, the cool guy always works at the record store, and it was in 1981. People were still cool,
yeah.
and he just beamed when I asked about John Hiatt, and he just kind of grinned and pointed over at the H's, And that's when I discovered John Hiatt not only played guitar, but he wrote these amazing songs, and I became an immediate fan. I met John in 1986. We played a charity thing together in Nashville.
We did, with Roseanne Cash. Was Rodney Crowell on?
Rodney and Roseanne did it. That's when they were together, and they
right.
did it. Yeah, they hosted that.
Yeah.
But then we worked together for the first time in October of 1989, along with Guy Clark and Joe Ely, the four of us, and we were invited by Bill Ivey of the Country Music Foundation to do some shows for the old Marlboro Country Music Festival, and we've been getting together ever since.
That's a long time, Lyle.
Well, never do the math. But we were. John and I played as we were making our way out west. We stopped off in Deadwood, South Dakota, and I couldn't help but think about my friend Eric Taylor, because he has he had written a song called Deadwood, and he passed away on the 9th of March in 2020, just before everything shut down, and I called him on the 6th of March because I was with my acoustic group. We were playing there in Deadwood at the same place you and I played, and I called him, and he was not doing well, and was in the hospital, and couldn't help but think about him. And I started listening to that song a bunch as you and I were coming through. And it's a similar sensitivity to the way things used to be, and which helps us to celebrate the direction things are going.
Absolutely.
Well, a good time to scratch the laugh from the lungs of the young men in the Deadwood saloon, South Dakota afternoon. And the old ones by the door, with their heads to their chest, they told lies about whiskey on a woman's breath. And the gold she laid cold in their pockets. The sun she sets down on the trees. And they thank the Lord for for this land that they live in. We're a white man, well he does as he pleases. Some told the story of young Mickey Free. He lost an eye to a buck deer in the Tongue River Valley. And some tell the story of California Joe. He sent word that the Black Hills, there was a mountain of gold. And the gold she lay cold in their pockets. The sun she sets down on the trees, and they thank the Lord for this land that they live in. We're a white man, well he does as he pleases. Some flat-shoot fool from the east comes a-running with some news he'd read in some St. Joseph paper. He says it's drinks all around, 'cause the news he was telling is the one they call crazy, has been caught and been dealt with. And the gold she lay cold in their pockets. The sun she sets down on the trees. They thank the Lord for this land that they live in. We're a white man, well he does as he pleases. Well, the Easterner, he read the news from the paper, and the old ones drew closer so they could hear better. It says here the crazy horse was killed while he was trying to escape. It was sometime last September, but don't give the exact date. And the gold she lay cold in their pockets. The sun she sets down on the trees, and they thank the Lord for this land that they live in. And we're a white man, well he does as he pleases. Well, the talk turned back to whiskey and women.